With that thought, I stood up from my chair. Confused at the sudden turn of events, the speaker seemed to regain his senses, and began to shout in panic. Please hold on, Your Majesty Rimuru. This must be some misunderstanding. This is by no means what the council intends to do. Please confirm with the fair and a just third party of Hinata-sama first. The speaker was respectful towards me, he wouldn't have lied. Hinata never mentioned this to me, but she did advise me to keep my guard up. However, I didn't expect it to turn out this stupidly straightforward. I suppose it was best to just go with the flow at this point. The speaker wasn't my enemy, and neither was Hinata. Moreover, some of the councillors were also on our side. We've never heard of this. What is going on here? Who sent these people? That soldier's armor has the emblem of the Ingratia royal family. Does that mean that it was the kingdom of Ingratia who was behind this? The councillors fell in disarray at these comments. Seeing this reaction, they obviously had nothing to do with the large man. This was not the decision made by the council, but the action of some separate force. Most people were very confused, but some were watching on calmly. That being Hinata. After being named by the councillor, she immediately stood up from the chair and came between me and the large man. Reiner Dono, what is the meaning of this? So, the large man's name was Reiner. If Hinata knew him, this person had to be famous, right? How dare you enter without permission? We are in session right now. This is no place for you soldiers to enter. Seeing how Hinata had taken action, the speaker also became emboldened and started to scold the soldiers. The one who responded was not Reiner, but one of the councillors. If I recall correctly, he was the Count of the Kingdom of Ingratia, Gavan or something. Hahaha, Speaker Lester-sama, it's no trouble. I called them in to punish those outlaws. Gavan said with a smile. He sat on the second floor on a seat near the speaker. The speaker's face reddened as he shouted, Count Gavan, have you lost your mind? This was to be expected. Since one of the councillors was involved in the matter, he was no longer able to proclaim that this had nothing to do with the council. With Hinata acting as an impartial third party, this ridiculous charade probably worked in my favor. Even though it pissed me off to have been looked down upon, I decided to tolerate it for now, and see how things went. Gavan Dono. I've never heard of such a thing before. Shouted a man I was pretty sure was Councillor Johann, the Duke of the Kingdom of Rostra. He seemed rather reliable and was not affected by the mental interference. The commotion at the start of the meeting made him look ill as well. It seemed that he would be on my side. He would likely agree to the Tempest Federation's addition to the council as well. Everyone, please be calm. I'm sure that everyone here is actually afraid of Demon Lord Rimuru, are you not? Reiner Dono here is the strongest man in Ingratia. He will defeat Demon Lord Rimuru and control him. In this way, one among the Octagram will be ours to command, and even the Storm Dragon would be in our palm soon. Even though he was under fire from multiple councillors, Gavan still remained very relaxed as he announced his justification to stand against me. Many councillors loudly declared their agreement with Gavan's stance as well. Surely, I didn't have to tolerate this any longer. Yet the whole situation continued to spiral out of control without my involvement. How could you do this? We won't allow such a thing to happen. Don't you dare make light of the council now. Yes. Do you dare to ignore the will of the council and place your own interests first? More and more councillors put their own bid in. But for some reason, I had a bad feeling about this. Among the councillors, something about Gavan's smug attitude made me think something else was up. And my prediction came true. The well-mannered man entered the venue. Calm down, everyone. The Knight of our kingdom, Reiner, has a point. Since the Demon Lord came here so carelessly, isn't this a perfect opportunity for us? This blonde-haired newcomer clearly wasn't a councillor, yet he was just as arrogant as one. His words riled the venue up instantly. Obviously, this guy had high authority. Just as I thought so. Your Highness Elric, what are you doing here? Have I not advised you to not do anything foolish? Hinata's words helped me clarify his true identity. This man was the prince of this nation. Therefore, even the councillors could not afford to be rude. No wonder they looked so confused. So this Prince Elric was the man behind this whole incident. Some of the councillors seemed to have been instigated by him. Hinata, I am really disappointed in you. You fear the demon lords. You have given up on being the fearless guardian of humanity. What did you say? Hinata's tone was low and cold. She looked pissed. Now I probably wouldn't get the chance to show off. Quit your squabbling, Hinata-san. How about it? I don't know how strong the commander of the Holy Knight Order is, but I'm the commanding officer of the Ingratia Knight Order. You are no match for me. You couldn't even win against that punk-ass demon lord. How pathetic of you to be licking each other's wounds over there. Are you pressing yourself to run away? With a mocking smile, Reiner turned his insults towards Hinata. This guy was putting himself in danger as well. Even I was losing it just by watching. You bastard. Kukuku, no comeback. Did I hit the mark? Oh, Holy Knight Commander Sama, your position is probably for show as well, no? Did you seduce some horny cardinal to have gotten your job as well? Both sides are all trash, you all must have fought a shitty war. You don't even have the resolve to kill, how laughable. Ah, even I got triggered. Please stop doing this, would you? But, Hinata, you are not all bad looking. If you are willing to be my woman, I could take you in as my concubine, you know. Ah, this guy. He had just dug his own grave. Hinata still looked very calm. Her appearance was still that of an ice-cold beauty. However, while appearing emotionless, inside, she must be exploding with fury like a volcano. Hinata seriously had amazing tolerance. If it were me, I probably would have lost it already. Oi, Sir Reiner, don't you feel a bit ashamed to say something so lewd? That said, I'm actually very fond of that demon lord. It's not good to take every nice thing for yourself, don't you think? An inexplicable chill went down my spine. I shivered. This man, Gavan, what was he hitting on me? What a disgusting old man. Very few things would push me to an emotional response, but he seriously gave me the creeps. This guy was truly horrifying. Thankfully, Gavan was sitting far away from me. If he were to approach me, my body may move on its own to beat him up. Your Highness Elric, after having this man, Reiner Dono, say such things and do all this, does the Kingdom of Ingratia intend to turn a blind eye to such behavior? Hinata asked calmly, without leaking even the tiniest bit of anger. Elric answered with a smile. Haha, Hinata-san, had you been willing to provide us with your aid, we would have treated you with much greater respect. However, you can only blame yourself for provoking Reiner. Oh, I forgot to mention, Reiner is stronger than rank A adventurers. In addition, Elric snapped his fingers. Having been waiting for the moment, the door opened, admitting a man in black. He was followed by a woman in green robes and a group of people wearing jackets embroidered with a familiar symbol. I knew the man wearing black, too. Squinting, I realized it was Guy, the adventurer the Dryad Delta decapitated back in the labyrinth. As for the people in robes, they were the members of Green Rebellion. They were in a fierce battle with our avatars. Did that mean that the man in the green robe was connected to the Apostles of Verd? The man covered his head with his robe's hood while covering his face with a scarf. It made him look very suspicious. Judging by his arrogant demeanor, he was likely the leader of the mercenary band. And my guess was right. Allow me to introduce you all. This is Guy-san, rank A adventurer. He's currently Reiner's adjutant. And this is... Elric laid his hand on the shoulder of the woman in the green robe. His every movement was very contrived, clearly narcissistic. This is the commander of the famous mercenary band, Apostles of Verd. I am very wary of paying proper respect even when it comes to eliminating demon lords, so I found some truly impressive individuals. There are plenty of skilled fighters here who are stronger than you. Just because you're all somewhat strong, I hope that you won't be too full of yourself. Elric was very confident. In my opinion, if you wanted to fight, I was definitely game. Report. This will destroy your reputation by 100%. I suppose. With all these eyes watching, it was probably a bit of an overkill for the demon lord to fight so rashly. Moreover, I'd already made a promise I would only fight against the person that made it through the entire labyrinth. If I broke my promise so carelessly, I would have to handle countless idiots in the future. More importantly, someone was angrier than me now. Human beings were truly amazing creatures. When someone started to lose their cool, the person before them would naturally regain their own cool. Then let me ask you this, Prince Elric Sama, do you intend to be hostile not only against me, but the entire Western Holy Church? Are you truly prepared for such consequences? Rest assured, neither the Western Holy Church nor the Holy Empire of Lobelia will be affected. As long as you stand aside and watch quietly, I can ensure your personal safety. Seeing how hard Hinata was trying to suppress her anger, I even forgot what I was angry about. Besides the speaker, there were other people who were also trying their hardest to protest against Elric and his lackeys. We hadn't been rejected by the council, so we weren't completely isolated. It was just one idiot who decided to play dirty. And because of it, there was no need for us to argue until our faces turned red with anger. That's not the issue. I was invited by the council to act as a third party this time. My goal was to maintain justice and fairness in the meeting. Therefore, I cannot simply remain silent in light of your actions. It would be a different case had it been the will of the council, but for you alone to intrude like this, don't think I will just sit and watch. Hinata was likely still mindful of Elric's status, and tried to persuade him. Yet Elric was not listening. Hinata-sama has a point, please tread carefully and cease this disruption. I've never heard of such a thing, Your Highness Elric. And Count Gavan, did you think you would be able to get away with what you just did? It's rare for His Majesty Rimuru to appear in person, your actions are clearly the issue here. I will not allow such a thing to happen, how dare the Kingdom of Ingratia be so outrageous. Some were furious, some were passionate. And the number of councillors raising their voices increased. With these developments, I felt like I was an audience. I was glad that someone else was acting as the protagonist now. If there was no justice and fairness, why would the council be needed in the first place? The speaker shouted. Keep going. I cheered internally. A bunch of old geezers quit yapping about. You guys can run your mouth however you want when I'm finished dominating the Demon Lord. Reiner seemed confident in his victory. That guy already pissed off Hinata. I probably wasn't needed. Just gonna pretend I didn't see that. Elric-sama, according to our contract, we only agreed to be your bodyguards. If you intend to tread this path yourself, I will see this as a breach in contract. Oh, even the commander of Apostles of Vert didn't want to intervene. I almost treated them the same. It was good that he let us know early enough. That's right. In my opinion, Demon Lord Rimuru-sama is an extremely dangerous character. He's definitely not to be underestimated after having created a labyrinth with those insane monsters. Was she praising me? Our fight to the death was not for nothing. The captain of Green Rebellion, the spirit wielder, seemed to be maintaining great caution against me. How boring, cowards will only get in our way. So, Guy was the same kind of person as Reiner. The type of person that was overconfident and ignored other people's opinions. He looked at me with great hatred, but I couldn't recall anything that I'd done to deserve such hate. Either way, the venue was on the brink of war. However, perhaps because it lacked a key factor, no one had taken any action. I sighed internally about the helplessness of the situation, and decided to observe quietly.